Hi, this is Paul with Weiv, and I wanted to give you a little video update here of what we've been working on with the Weiv 1.5 update. For those of you who are familiar with Weiv and have been following Weiv, we've been talking about making some updates and adding new scenes for a long time, and I think we're finally rounding the corner on that and looking forward to releasing something this spring. So I wanted to give you just a little preview of what we do have and what you can be looking forward to. So one of the things we've found, and over the last about 2 years, we've been working on Weiv, and Weiv, the Weiv 1, essentially, in a lot of ways, was like a lot of startup ideas, was a prototype that just kind of kept on going. And so the last 2 years, we've spent a lot of time in the field and using Weiv on our own and finding uh, it needs some changes and some updates. So a lot of the folks that have been giving us feedback, a lot of you that we've met at conferences or have been beta testers or we've met online, thank you for your feedback, and we really appreciate it. And we're trying to add elements of it here in the Weiv 1.5 update. So one of the things that we have here is I've been working on creating more one controller scenes. And this is because we found a lot of the folks who, as you can see, one controller here, and I have one role set up. It's just a dummy role right now since it's a prototype. But one of the things we found is that going from we've seen to we've seen, the way we've had it in the past, the way we've created scenes, we just like, oh, here's a 3 controller scene, here's a 5 controller scene, which is maddening when the controls are different and you go from scene to scene and all of a sudden one controller's out. It's very confusing. So we're trying to create more 1 controller scenes and focus on either 1 or 7, but not so much of this in-between stuff. So we can still have the 1 controller scenes for the VJs, the production folks who want to be able to control something like this rainfall that I'll show you here. Just a really basic elemental scene, and then the 7 controller scenes. So rainfall here is a good example of just a single controller elemental scene that I've been working on. And when I say elemental, I mean not so much stuff that it crowds the screen, that there's just a lot of control for creating a simple element that can then be blended with other elements, like using VDMX. I use that a lot, where I'll put a background picture or another video in the background, and then I'll blend layers. So it works on its own, but it also works really well in terms of blending, because you can you can turn everything black, turn it off, make it really minimal, rather than have all kinds of crazy stuff floating around the screen that you can't control and gets annoying. So one of the things I've been trying to focus on in creating these scenes is thinking, hey, production person, what would you want to do? And when I'm doing these kinds of things, what do I want to do? So one of the things I found is I want to be able to control the scene with the controller. So I'm shaking the controller right now and creating the rain, these rain particles. But a lot of times what I really want is to be able to auto emit and just say, hey, let's just turn this on. And so for a lot of the single element scenes, especially these kind of particle system kind of scenes, trying to have a just an auto emit, and there's still elements that you can control with the Wiimote when it's auto emitting though. So for instance, with a lot of the scenes, I really like this twirl angle, so I'm going to hold the A button and turn the Wii remote like a knob, and as you can see, the twirl angle is changing in the configuration parameter, and I'm adding a twirl filter to the scene, which creates some really cool effects. So you can still do that live, and you can change it. Of course, if you don't want to use the Wiimote, you don't need to use the Wiimote, but it's nice. It's nice to have, because it's just a really great tactile, intuitive interface. Or I can change the twirl angle here. Also effects like a motion blur, where you can get a nice kind of blurry, smooth effect, a fisheye distortion, and one of my favorites, I like to pixelate. Also controller sensitivity and the things you would expect out of a weave scene, like play speed and element color and the background color. And as you can see, we have the what used to be shots, and we're redoing this to be presets. So this is a really powerful thing that we've all wanted for a while, and it's finally coming to fruition. So this is just a dream in terms of wanting to be able to set up elements. So let's say, hey, I want the scene to look like this. I kind of want this distorted rain, and that's the first part of my set. So boom, I'm just going to click and hold, and now I've got that preset set, and I already have a couple others set, so I can just quickly go from scene to scene. And this one looks like it stopped because the play speed's at 0. So it's nice to be able to make these really subtle changes. So we could even just make really subtle changes to this scene. Here we'll do this. So we've got one that's essentially stopped, and then here's one that starts moving a little bit, and then we could even just change the color. Let's just say, hey, we want to darken it a little bit and turn the play speed up a little bit more, and we'll make that this preset, and so we can just have a lot of power in terms of setting up your presets and then still having them be controllable, as I am with the Wii remote. So those are a couple of really cool features. Also, we've been working on the Bluetooth connectivity. So we're working with a partner, actually a partner company who their product uses Wii remote connectivity as well. And so it's an important feature to both of us. So we're both working on making it better, and that will be an added feature in the Weiv 1.5 as well. So hopefully no more, or very, very rarely dropped Wii remotes, and really good response. That's what it's looking like right now. So just a lot of fun stuff coming down the way, and I wanted to share it with you so you know what we're doing with Weiv, you know what to expect out of the future, and I'd love to hear your feedback. So if you've watched this video and you've made it this far, I would like to hear from you and say, hey, I'm really excited about this feature, or hey, you know, do you think you could add this at the last minute, or hey, I like the elemental scene idea. I've got some ideas for a scene you should make. I don't know, bubbles, or you know, whatever crazy ideas you have. So we're really working on ramping that up right now, and we are looking forward to sharing with you. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.